of all, I would like to say thank you all who for this opportunity. It seems for entrepreneurs like ourselves. And who are we? Footsnap AG, I think maybe some of you have already heard. We are out to reduce shoe returns, along with providing a sustainable solution and innovating the pre-manufacturing part of the shoe industry. So this technology is certainly for the entire fashion industry, but we are starting it off in the shoe sector, where we have a network of over 600 brands and retailers. Right now, what I'm trying to do is share my screen, and I hope that this works. Can everyone see my screen? I take it so, okay. Right now, I was talking to Vincent, I wanted to go through a full pitch deck, but I would not like to do that. I would like to really bring you through the actual customer journey as to how things really work. So let me start with the problem. As you know, everyone in this room has experienced ordering shoes online only to receive the wrong size shoes at your doorstep. The reason why this is happening, maybe some don't know, is that different brands produce at different manufacturers in different countries. Therefore, 8.5 for another brand. It's constantly changing. For an example, Nike themselves, Nike has collections, whereas one collection size is 43, for an example, is completely different from the other collection within their own house. This causes a major problem of shoe returns. And shoe returns, believe it or not, are a little over 50%. And that's for most brands and retailers. Around 50% of the shoes that are sent out to customers to their homes are returned. 80% of that is specifically due to the wrong size. This is the reason why we came out with an idea. I approached Vincent in the past. He is over LinkedIn, is where I met him. He's in the shoe industry 25 years, working with shoe care products. So he immediately understood the idea. The idea can simply take their smartphone out, scan a QR code, scan their feet in actual 3D with incredible precision, and we send back to the size to the brand immediately. So I explained to him how that could work, whereas he thought it was a great idea, and we immediately started that. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, we stayed under the radar because we did not want to come out with something until we knew the correct technical way. Therefore, now today, we can proudly say we have a POC that is scientific and mathematically proven. I will show you quickly the customer journey for yourself. You're at home, you would like to go online to shop for some shoes. And don't worry, we'll get more into Footsnap itself after that. We would like to just take you straight into the customer journey, okay? You're a customer, I wanna buy a pair of shoes. What I would do would go to a brand web shop. In this case, this is Rish Shoes Web Shop. This is one of our investors who owns the shoe brand Rish Shoes AG in Zurich. And we are located in Freienbach, just so you know, Freienbach, Schwitz, in the canton of Schwitz.
Then you need to change the screen.
Can you see the screen?
No.
Oh, I have to share a new one then, I take it. Okay, there we go. So here we are, we're at a brand web shop. In this case, this is Rish Shoes, which is this is a master duplicate of his web shop. We call this the Footsnap Simulation Exercise Portal. This portal, as I said, a master duplicate of an actual shoe web shop, it gives the brand and the consumer the chance to go through it like in a life-like scenario. So that's what we're gonna do now. You are now shopping online at Rish Shoes, which is click shop all. For the time being, for our FSE pilot testing portal, we have simply put 3 shoes there. We could take a sneaker Jimmy, Now, this is where the major problem begins. It's here. Choosing the color is no issue for the customer. However, the size is always the issue. They can't know it, but the main problem also is the width. Different brands have different widths. Some only have one width, or some can have several. You can't know it. Instead of guessing this, you can simply click the Footsnap push button here and scan our QR code. What happens when you scan it, and everybody feel free to take your smartphone out and scan that QR code if you have a second. But what happens when you scan this QR code, it opens up our web application. We purposely made a web application because we do not want to do any kind of downloading or updating for the end consumer. The consumer scans their feet with the smartphone. I don't know if I have Vincent on the call here, but I would show you. Has everyone scanned the QR code? Okay, I take it everyone did. Good, I see some heads shaking. That QR code you see now in the application. The application now has a video which shows you how to scan, which is very simple. You're simply standing up, putting an A4 sheet of white paper between your feet for reference point. You're taking your smartphone out, opening the camera. No one's scanning their feet today, I'm just explaining it. But you're opening in your camera and you're starting from your left side, your left foot, and you're scanning around just like this in the middle, all the way to the back. Very simple, very easy. We made it very, very user-friendly. Anybody at any age can do this. What happens is we receive a result. Once the scan is done, the scan will send you back to the web shop. And by the way, it doesn't matter what entry point. You can start from your smartphone and finish your transaction over the laptop, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. We have the entry points built. Now what you will see is a size that comes back to you after scanning. I cannot show you that remotely, but I'm going to show you the results. So we're going to act like as if we scan our feet. Now you have a scan done. Footsnap has your scan. You can literally reuse that scan every single time when you shop online, if we are over that brand's web shop. So here's the result, and I'm sorry that we got to go a little bit fast, but I will explain some things after to make it more clear.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you go a little faster, Ben? We got to make sure everybody's got a chance to present.
Exactly,
as well.
exactly. This is an actual 3D rendering from one of our smartphone scans.
Other screen, Ben.
Can you see it?
No.
Okay, 1 second. How about now? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an actual scan from our technology. We would perhaps show the customer this after a scan. We're still debating that. We launched in 2 months into the market and already have some pre-revenue contracts being signed by brands, but we also can look a lot more detailed. This is a smartphone. And with such a scan, we know we can get a precision up to 3 millimeters or less. And with that being said, we are able to not only reduce the shoe returns for brands and retailers, which will save them millions. For example, in Germany alone, 385 million euros are lost in shoe returns, and 80% of that is due to the wrong size. And that's just the shoe fashion industry in Germany. So with that being said, we have found out that with the technology that we have built, we are also able to provide the same solution, not just for getting a customer excited and satisfied of receiving the right size shoes every time, and to reuse their scan and make their shopping experience much more simple. We know we can also use the technology for orthopedic companies. We have a few orthopedic companies that can literally take our scan and they can create a custom shoe for that, or an insole. We can scan the insole, the memory foams, and we can create a 3D rendering, which custom insoles could be made. The CAD companies is also another partner we work with. They have around 1,400 brands themselves per CAD company. This simplifies the actual implementation because we work with CAD files, which is the actual 3D digital design of the shoe, the inner volume of the shoe. The CAD last is called. With that information, we are able to basically access that CAD data extremely fast and implement it over the brand's web shop without the brand having to go looking for the actual CAD file for their shoes that they want to sell.
Hey, Ben, can I cut in here? We're going to need to end this. Can you just tell us quickly the business model and what the final ask is? And then we can go on to investor questions. Sorry,
absolutely.
But we've got to make sure everybody's got time.
Certainly. Yeah, so basically the business model is for every shoe scan, for every scan and the match between the shoe that the customer decides to purchase and the actual scan from our technology, we get paid a cost for each match. The actual technology is free for the end user. So this is how we monetize with the technology. The average shoe return rate, just so you know, is 20 euros. Reboxing, restocking, reshipping, quality control. So we charge just a very small percentage of that, and that's from money that they're actually saving. So they're having increased customer satisfaction, along with reducing shoe returns, landfill waste, and most importantly, metric tons of CO2 being put out in the air because of shoe returns.
How much are you raising and at what valuation? Or at least how much are you raising?
We are raising a 1.5 million at a 5.5 pre-money valuation. We'll be happy to give you an actual full investor pitch. We do have that. If one has more questions as far as to how far our network goes and our reach, and I'll be glad to answer questions.
Awesome. Then I want to open it up to our investor panel. Thanks for presenting, Ben. Sorry about having to cut you short. Some of the tough technical difficulties and as well made things a little bit more complicated. So Antonia, Thomas, Claudius, do you guys have questions for Ben? I will cede my questions to you so that you guys have some time.
All right, I'll jump right in. Thank you very much for the presentation, Benjamin. I didn't quite understand how you solved the issue on the vendor side. So as a store, how do I know which box I need to ship to the customer?
I suppose you're talking about an actual brick and mortar store?
Any store. So
online brand?
Oh, so how do you pick the right size for the shoe? How does your technology help the brand send the right shoe to the right customer?
Okay, yes. As I mentioned before, each shoe has a CAD file. It has a digital makeup. From where the shoe is the very beginning of making a shoe, you create the digital CAD file. That CAD file has the exact inner dimensions of the shoe. With that, we are able to add the variables, what's needed to fit the shoe. And from there, we know exactly which shoe it is because there's a serial number per CAD file that matches to each shoe. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, partially. So does the retailer have these CAD files, or is it only the manufacturer?
Yeah, the brands. The brands have the actual CAD files, which is the reason why our first step is to approach all of our brand networks. Contacts, because they hold the actual CAD files of the shoes. The problem is, as I said before, is that they don't know where they are. Most of them have no access or have no idea where to access their CAD files, which is why we're partnered with the CAD file companies to make implementation faster. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, thanks.
What's the accuracy you achieve right now through the scan? So let's say
3 millimeters precision.
3 millimeters.
Yeah, volumetric.
What does that mean? That's very accurate. Yeah.
Extremely accurate. Let's just say it like that.
So on any circumference, there is maximum 3 millimeters of margin of error. That's nothing. If you look at orthopedics, for example, when they do manual measurements,
they have a margin of error of 5. And we're talking about 3 millimeters in total at this stage.
How many millimeters is it between a different size, the different shoe size?
3.5 in general for half a size.
All right, yeah, that is pretty accurate. Good.
Maybe one more question.
Any other questions?
Maybe a short one from my side. So, Benjamin, thank you so much for the pitch. So what are those brands like Nike and, you know, the Zalandos of this world like using nowadays? And what are you offering them that makes it like fundamentally better for them?
Yeah, great question.
Vincent, feel free to jump in and answer if you need to.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, first of all, at the moment, what we see in the market is that a lot of companies, they actually are using this. They are trying to please the customer by already helping them to make the return process easier. Yeah. Very recently, we bought 5 pairs of shoes for the family. And the first thing we saw when we opened the box was a return sheet. That's, of course, not what you want to do. You actually want to solve the problem and not make the problem even bigger. Yeah. And till today, there is no technology out there that does the process like we do. So what do? We create a CAD file from your feet. We have the CAD files from the shoes. We have 45 years of shoe fitting experience, and that's all in the algorithm. And there we do the matching. Yeah. So what do we create? We create like a custom-like fit for any shoe you futuristically buy online.
Also, to add to that is that as I said earlier, the customer can reuse their scan every single time. This is changing the way people shop online for the future, because they're going to kind of see it like sitting inside of a car and immediately buckling their seatbelt. They're going to think it's completely insane to order a pair of shoes without scanning. This is the future. And we are trying to provide not just the solution, but the experience of the customer. So we're trying to change the way that they shop in general, while at the same time reducing shoe returns and innovating the production side of the shoe industry.
Awesome.